Hey everyone, getting set up here in our house. Got this new chair. Really excited to be able to put it together. This is what it's supposed to look like. So a really nice ergonomic chair with a headrest as well. I'm gonna go through here, put it together, share with you the different steps, let you know if there's any challenges along the way as well. So far, looks pretty straightforward. Came with the different nuts and bolts and screws and washers, and I kind of like that this is a T-handle hex tool instead of the normal small one that just has the 90-degree angle. So let's go put it together and I'll let you know how it goes. All right, the first step here is the hub assembly goes, and then we have the leg extensions that go off of that, and we screw them in there. So I'm gonna get started putting all those together. So you can see there's 5 of them here on this star. I have my good helper here putting it in there. Excellent, thank you, helper. So we'll go through, put that all together, and then we'll get to the next steps. All right, while my helper screws these on here, one thing I did find that when putting these legs onto the main hub, I did have to use a mallet to be able to knock it in so that the screw holes would line up properly. It was really snug. It doesn't say anything about using a mallet, so just be aware that you might need to use a nice rubber mallet to be able to put these in. You want to use a rubber one, not just a hammer, because you don't want to damage the chrome finish that is on these legs. There's 10 screws that go here on the hub to be able to put this together. So we're going to go through, tighten those 10 screws in here, and be ready to put the rest of it together. All right, we have the main hub assembly put together now. See, it looks really good on that side. You can see the screws on that side of the star. The next part of this is to be able to install the wheels on here. Then we're going to turn this over. We have the chrome hub to go over that part there just to make it look nice. And then we're going to install the shock on it, and then we'll start building the chair part that will go on top of this. So the base is almost ready. The wheels are now on. It did take a bit of effort to be able to put these wheels on here. So just be aware that when you're ready to go get them on there, the first little clip goes on really easily, and then I found to be able to do the next set, I really had to put a lot of force in there. I actually took it, put it on the ground like this, and tried to push on it. That didn't really help a lot, but maybe it helped seat them a little bit, because after I brought it back up, I was able to squish it in there to be able to get it to collapse down there. So just how it should look there, should just have that little bit of a gap between there. So my helper is ready to get on to the next stages. The next stage here, we put the hub on top there. And then, well, it's time to put this on now. You ready? Yeah. Okay, it goes right there in the middle. Ta-da! All right, so now the little shock or the riser is now installed on there. So let's go through the next steps and start getting the body of the chair put together. As I go through and put these together, I really like to be able to kind of keep my workspace clean as I go. That way it's not quite as daunting when you're all done. And the nice thing is, for a trash receptacle, the box that the item came on is a really nice place to be able to put all the excess things. So go through, clean it up. That way when you're done, you don't have as much to be able to clean up as if you can clean up on the go. So far, it's been a pretty good thing. This chair sent to us has been a fairly easy thing to be able to put together. So now I'm going to start the body of it. The next step here is to be able to put on the base of the chair, or the seat, is to be able to install the armrests. Those screw in place. We have the armrests that came really nicely wrapped here for protection. So we'll screw those on, and then we'll go on to the next stage. putting the armrest here on the seat of the chair. I didn't quite know by looking at the back here which side was the front and which side was the back of the seat chair here, but after I put one of the armrests on, I did realize I have it on the wrong side, so I'm gonna have to take that off. So just something to be aware of when you're putting this together. The instructions aren't super clear. It does give a little tiny bit of information showing that this is the back of the chair, just based on the space in the diagram that it has between where you place the armrest. So just be aware. Clearly I have this one backwards because it's supposed to be facing that way. And this here is the front of the chair. So just something to be aware of when you're putting it together. Now you can see the spacing between the bracketry that you'll know which way is front and back. All right, I'm gonna take this one off, move it to the other side, and then keep going through the installation of the armrests. The armrests are now on here so that the chair is coming together. One thing to also remember here, on the armrest, they do list it left and right. So if I would have been able to put the base down here, I probably would have had a better idea which way was the front, which way was the back. But it only lists left and right on the armrest itself. It does not say left or right on the mold for the seat. So definitely not an easy thing, because you could still mix up left and right if you didn't know which way was the front or which way was the bottom. But they're on there now. My helper helped me tighten them on there. One thing that is kind of interesting here, the bolts that it comes with, looks like it has a built-in washer on the bolt, but then the instructions ask for a individual washer to go under that. So just be aware that while the bolt looks like it has a washer on it, it does have a wide base. You're gonna wanna put a washer on there per the instructions. All right, let's go through. We're gonna get the assembly put on here for the up and down motion, as well as the tilt function. And then we're gonna start putting the backrest and the headrest onto here. Okay, the chair mechanism is now installed on there. It just required 4 bolts and also 4 additional washers to be able to secure it on there, but real easy to make happen. One thing I forgot to mention about the armrests are adjustable. So in case you do not, you want them wider or more narrow, they can move in and out. You just have to loosen the screws to make that happen. So just something to be aware of when you're ready to make that move. All right, we have the bottom completed now. Now the next stage, get the back installed. Great thing about the screws that came with the kit here, it lists what all the different screws are for the install. So all the ones that I've already pulled out are parts that I've already installed here. And as you can see here, I have not done the headrest yet, and I have not done the backrest. So it's really nice that these are labeled so that you know exactly where they go. Some other kits come with them where it says, you know, it uses the alphabet or numerical to be able to know which one goes in which place, but it's really nice when it just labels what exactly it is. Makes it really clear. All right, let's go through, get the backrest unwrapped, and get that installed. The backrest is now installed. Real easy to make that happen, putting in those 4 bolts. It is adjustable as well, so if you want the backrest to be more forward or more back, it does have a little bit of adjustment in there to make that happen. All right, so we have the main body of the chair put together now. What we're gonna be able to do now is bring the wheel assembly in here, and then you line up the little hole that's on the base with the hole that's on the chair mechanism, and then it goes on. And one of the good things to do here is once you have that set, is go through and sit in the chair to really make sure that it's pushed on and has enough weight on it to make sure that it's seated properly. It just uses pressure to be able to seat it, so just a little bit of pressure in there will be able to keep it together. So now, should keep it together, yep. doesn't fall off. All right, the last thing that we have now is mounting the headrest onto the chair. So let me tilt this down here. Wow, this thing looks really comfortable. Here's the headrest to go with it. So turn the chair over this way. Line the headrest up. Okay, so the headrest, the way that it clips in place there, you can see it has this groove here. So that groove lines up with the top of the chair here. So as you go through, you bring it in, put it in the groove, and then level. You have some adjustability to be able to line it up, and then it'll be all set and ready to go. I'm just getting the final little screw thing in here. The T-handle just provides a much bigger handle to be able to use to turn the bolts. The small little one works good for leverage, but if you're really trying to put some tension on it, you can use the little one with the 90-degree bend to it. But the T-handle certainly for speed and efficiency makes it nice. Another great tool to be able to use if you're installing these is you can always use a screw gun. Just be careful when you're using a screw gun and you have the hex attachment on it that you're not over torquing. So just make sure you either, if it has a torque setting, make sure it's on its lowest one, or just use your best judgment when you're going through and using it, that when it starts, you just do little pulses as you're screwing it in, and then do like one final pulse just to make it a little tension, but don't sit there and really drive it in too hard. All right, we have the chair is now put together. That looks fantastic. I'm excited to be able to get this put to use. Really nice chair. Oh, here is my fine model coming in, putting the chair in there.
This is good. This is going in my office.
Yeah.
I love it.
I put it together.
So comfortable.
And then she takes it.
You can really lean back in this thing.
Yeah. So it has a lot of adjustments that you can go. We'll turn,
I've never had an office chair that goes back that far.
Twist her that way, so you can push that in to be able to prevent it from tilting. So now she can go, and now it won't go back and forth. Of course, pull it back out, and now it'll tilt. Yeah.
Okay, and then up and down.
And then, of course, she goes through, and then you can go through and actually press on this side here to be able to lift it up. So go ahead and lift your booty up a little bit. There you go. You actually push down on the lever to be able to activate it to where you go up or down. So push down a little bit, and then she'll get off of the chair to be able to relieve the pressure, and then it'll rise up. And then if you want it to go down, you just push that, use your body weight to be able to lower it back down.
I love how it's like a mesh, like almost sheer, but then when you look at it straight on, it doesn't look that way. So it's like fabric straight on, but that really nice mesh so you don't get too hot when you sit in it. Material, really good rollers on this, which I always think that's important, and just so comfortable for your lower back. Wow, it really gives that ergonomic support to give you that support back there. So
good lumbar support on there. You can see that the lumbar moves as she's leaning into it as well. Yes, so it has some customized features as it goes through to be able to provide ultimate comfort.
This is the fanciest chair, office chair I think I've ever had. It's amazing.
Yep, awesome. We really like this so far, and you're going to love it as well.